Hello. Okay. So excuse me, I just had a quick shower before. I often like to, if I get a chance to meditate before meditating. And I did meditate before the shower as well. So that was also the truth. So allowing yourself just to get comfortable as you are and welcome. We're just going to have a beautiful explanation first of how important and how easy it is to come into stillness and to enjoy the inner silence and how to actually get to it. So let's just notice the floor, support the body or the chair wherever you are, and breathe in. Through the belly is expanding. So let that breath really end up in the belly. And as you exhale, bring the belly back towards the spine. And again, breathing in, breathing out. And just let the shoulders relax. And if you need to, let's just bring the hands actually softly on the legs. And we're just going to inhale the right shoulder, exhale the right shoulder, inhale the left shoulder, exhale the left shoulder, and inhale alternate shoulders as you connect into the body and relax. So just feel that there's a lot of noise in our lives. There's a lot of noise politically. There's a lot of buzzing energy, and it all has its place. But eventually we need to come back into that stillness so that we can feel clear about who we are, what we want, our own sanity, our own homecoming. Inhale both shoulders, squeeze them up, really squeeze them up. Exhale, drop. Now just wriggle the body and let your chest move slightly forward and roll the shoulders back. If you're lying down, just adjust to your capacity wherever you are. What we're looking for is a straight spine, and that really helps you because it really affects your state of mind, and it really helps your biology to feel good so it can go into healing. Remember that. That's really where we enable the body to do the magic it is designed to do. And the more we learn to sit and the more we adjust consciously, the more that's going to become a lifestyle. And that's what I'm aiming to teach. Things so that they become natural, they become part of your program that you're running, they become part of your normal life. So it's really powerful to realize, even right now, before we go a bit deeper, that all the sounds you hear, for example, the gaps between my words, they come and they arise from silence, and they are upon silence. So the silence is actually always there. We just have to tune into those gaps, the gaps between the words, the gaps between the breath even. And it's almost like to get in touch with inner stillness and silence, which is a very beautiful place. I'll talk about it in a moment, because some of you may be scared of it, might be uncomfortable, might feel you've never actually encountered it before. It's actually a beautiful place to be. And it's just requiring us to want to look at it, to discover it between the inhale and exhale, to hear the gaps between sound. A musical piece is not the same without silence. It would just be one blah. You know, orchestras, classical music, symphonies, it's those pauses. Even when we speak, it's the pause that accentuates the meaning and the sounds. So silence is actually where we come from. It's actually our home. It's actually our true nature to have silence. And because we've forgotten to connect with it as a collective, there is this real need to do meditation. There's this real craving for it and this real disconnection from it on a larger or smaller level. And that's what creates disease, that creates disconnection from yourself, from actually being okay as you are. from not needing to do something to prove yourself, from getting away from that addiction of having to, I need to do this, I need to tick this box, I need to say something because I can't just sit there in silence. So we are evolving, we're going through huge change, and I think everybody's aware of that more than ever. And part of that is going to ask us to navigate our inner dimension, to feel the feelings, to hear that silence, and to hear what voice comes up then, because the voice of intuition needs a bit of silence. If you can't slow down, and if you are constantly thinking, oh, I better do this, I better do this, I'm so disturbed, and constantly thinking, and it's totally overridden you, you actually cannot tap into the intuitive voice, unfortunately. So it may speak to you all the time, and it does, but you simply don't hear it. It's like you're in a rock concert and, there's a little mouse trying to tap you and tell you the greatest wisdom on earth. And you're like, you're listening to this overbearing concert, really, and you can't hear it, even though it's always there. So silence, if you are not used to it, is actually peace, is actually not emptiness. Some people think it might be a place of a void, but really the way the world is right now, silence is simply a stopping and having that background hum and having that awareness of the simplicity of the now and the gift of the now, which is the only real thing. So silence has immense beauty, and of course the tabloids don't talk about this, the politicians don't talk about this, the people that generally want you to work don't talk about this, school doesn't talk about it, except now it's teaching that to kids because they've become hyperactive, and to learn we have to become still. So there is no money in it, except now humanity has gotten so sick because we don't tune into this inner tank of silence and peace and the vibration which is resonant and connected, that now, we're spending all this money on healthcare, we're spending all this money on mental illness, and people are just, not connected. And so now, of course, there's money in the meditation industry and people are pumping that, notice that. And it's like, oh, the key to this, the key to that. And it's also true, it needs to happen. But at the same time, it still becomes an engine of making money. A lot of things that people are teaching and charging so much money for, I teach for free, for example, because to me, it's our birthright to remember that. I find it weird. And if I was more an entrepreneur in that sense, I would package this stuff up and I would spend thousands to make it sound more amazing. But I have studied and looked at that. And I've actually looked at some of those packages wondering, what are they teaching that I don't teach or that I'm not aware of? And there's nothing there. So I simplify it right now. Obviously, this is not a package. This is just a sitting there and getting into it. But there will be techniques that I will be sharing, and I will make courses that are very simple, but where you actually get a structured education about the posture, for example. But right now, sitting straight is what we're going to talk about. Of course, ideally, if you want to meditate and go into silence, it's good if you've done some sort of yoga, some sort of physical thing, unless you're just waking up and you're very calm and you haven't gone into that matrix of thinking constantly. But the way to enhance it, there are thousands of things I can teach you. So let your spine be tall, let the shoulders relax, and know also that at the same breath, there are thousands of things to teach, and yet there is the simplicity of this moment. So don't let yourself get caught up in the idea that, oh my God, I better learn thousands of things, I better do all these courses, because really it is totally available for you right now, in this very moment, right now. So let yourself drop into this presence, into this moment as you are sitting here or lying there, whatever you're doing, and let yourself connect to your silence, to your inner stillness, which is where all the creativity is, the wisdom, the calmness. Maybe as a child you have been through this experience of realizing that time stood still as you were observing your friends at school, or your mother or father in the kitchen, or a beautiful movie, or when you were traveling and just looking out the window and seeing the world go by, and there was just this stillness within you, this observer that I talk about so much. In the observer, you will be able to navigate through everything, through all the challenges, through all the noise. As the observer, it becomes a blissful thing to observe, believe it or not. I have traveled through India, and that was very early on, before I even got married. I've traveled through countries where just watching the rubbish, the actual rubbish tumbling across the street, set me into immense bliss. Even as a child, just watching a bee buzzing around and then going into the flower and coming out, and just watching the grass swaying in the wind, is a trance state of relaxation, being in the moment. And there is a silent observer that is noticing. This is something that is in me all the time. I can tap into that like this. It's probably my gift that I need to share. It's literally smelling the roses while you are out there doing what you're doing. It's being able to stop and realize the richness around us. And this stopping is the same as the silence. So we can also learn it by sitting like this. And we can go into closed eyes, jaw relaxed. Your lips are soft. Your breath is free and slow and deep. I want you to slow and deepen the breath. And now observing the sounds of my voice, the sounds around you, and the gaps between sounds. Imagining a ticking clock. Tick, 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 tick. I used to do this as a child. I used to just lie there on the couch at my grandma's after school, relaxing. And there was a very loud ticking clock. And I found it very meditative. I used to just zone out to it, finding it amazing. They were out working or in the garden, and it was just me. And I was just in that room, and it was all spacious, and there was the talking and ticking of the clock, tick tock. And I could feel the gaps, and it's almost like in between each tick, 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 tick. If you tune into the silence, which is what I did, that gap, you become instantly extremely relaxed and meditative. I would look at the pattern on the couch, the rug that was on it, looking at the mesh, and yet the gaps. I was going to call it the silence, but even the woven wool that makes the blanket, the gaps in between upon which the fabric is woven. It's really a focus. You could go outside, imagine you're in a place that you really like, maybe a childhood memory, maybe your garden, maybe a space that you find really love-filled and joyful. And imagine in your mind's eye going to that place and just sitting on a bench with perfectly warm sun and just observing what's around you. I'm going to be a little bit quiet as you just imagine, like a movie screen, the movements, the light play, dancing in the screen of your mind. And you are watching the slow breath. You are in the physical body as the observer. That's right. And in this case, it's that softness and presence. Simply beholding the spectacle of life around you. The breath comes in and out. Life is dancing about. Things appear and disappear. Clouds moving in the sky. Just imagine that with me. The clouds drift and there's gaps between the clouds. Connect to the spaciousness in the cloud. Drifting slowly as you slowly observe spaciousness, stillness, and now we're using the breath to help us go deeper and deeper, because it is easy. When you exhale now, keep the breath out. When you need to inhale, slowly inhale, slowly like velvet, drawing the breath in, completely aware of the experience. Slowly and slower. When you've done so, suspend the breath without tensing. Softly, please, stay soft. Exhaling again, slowly as you can. And then again, suspend the breath out. Stay soft, really soft. Fingers, arms, face, really soft. Buttocks, thighs. Inhale again, really gently, full of tenderness. Suspend the breath when you're comfortable, just holding without tensing. And exhale again. This silence is inside us all. Choose to connect to those gaps between the breath. They are your portal to stillness, to silence. And these can be used at any time. If you are stressing or traumatized by something, this kind of breathing will change your perception and capacity to deal with this in a realistically calm way. Because the stress very rarely has its place and often creates more problems. So feeling this slowing down, this moment, allowing the body to be still. And this is really where doing yoga first or dancing or some exercise, unless you're already a very still person like I tend to be, it helps. Now I want you to be aware that it is okay if you are a twitchy kind of person, if you are a restless kind of person. Your body may need to release things. Your nature might be to be more dynamic, maybe a little bit more nervousy, kind of that kind of person. That's okay. What helps you then will be to do more physical exercise before and then to come into meditation. This is an okay thing to have and to embrace. It's like you need to know your skills and your capacity and work around it. Everyone can meditate. And this is basically very simple. And if you were to see me in a class, one-on-one, or for an hour, we would be working the body. But this is a brief live video to connect to silence and stillness in this moment together. There are also visualizations, remembering times when you were very still and letting the body drop. So let's just do this simple exercise which can help you to sleep, but it can also help you to come into stillness. I will direct you if you wish to do it. It is really good to help you become more still. You take a deep breath in, suspend the breath, and tighten all the muscles. Make your fists tight, your arms, your shoulders, your neck, your belly, your chest, your face, everything, your buttocks, your thighs, your knees, your calves, your feet. Squeeze everything really tightly, tightly, tightly. Exhale, relax. That is beautiful. There's many techniques like that I like to share. There's quite a collection, but let's do this one again. Breathe in deep. Suspend your breath, tighten everything really, really tight. The intent is to let go of tension as we exhale. This is not creating tension. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, letting go of all the tensions that we've been building up. So it's important to have intention and to realize why we do something. Again, breathe in. Bringing in fresh life force through the blood system, through the cells, tighten and squeeze the muscles. The intention is to tighten so that and release all the tensions, disappear. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, let go. Shrug the shoulders, shake out the wrists, the fingers, move the body. So like I said, I teach many techniques. I won't get into them right now, but there's so many. So right now, another one, let's just do this little one, I can't help myself, is to tap your face. So use your fingers and just tap around your jaw, your chin, your cheekbones, upper lips, nose, your eyebrows, gentle tapping and forehead, under the eyes, on top of your head, around the side. This is really, really super basic. Back of the neck, front of the neck, and shake it out. Okay? Things like this are really, really powerful because they can just get you into the body, they release physical tension, and they make all the difference, right? So enjoy that moment as well. So now come back into stillness. You've shaken the body around a bit. You've adjusted, you've tuned in. And now again, one of the techniques would be to allow the body to relax, to just become aware that for 1 minute, we're not going to move the body. We will just let the body be still. And we're just going to ignore anything that comes along just for 1 minute. Breathing in. This is about willfulness. Focus on the breath. Exhale. It's just a short moment. Because often that's the ego mind. And again, inhale. It wants to distract you, and sometimes mind over matter here is very powerful. You observe the irritation, you observe the wish to move, but we're not moving anything. You are the master of what happens. Your mind is the master. We are going to be loving, we're going to move the body, but right now we're just keeping it relaxed and still, breathing in and out. Allowing yourself to become even softer. And if a body part wants to move, let that even get softer. We're not moving it. We're just bringing the awareness there and letting it be soft. This is a skill, and that skill can be learned very easily over time. Just a few sessions, just a few times of practice. Be patient. First time is always the hardest. Second time can get easier. Third time, you'll be really amazed. It just requires a rewiring of your neurology, an opening to that, and a new pattern of thinking, which releases endorphins, which creates well-being in your whole body, mind, spirit connection, and all that you are. It is all connected. And as you shift, and as you come into meditative awareness and stillness now, you go into a space of healing, deep inner peace. That's right. Keep breathing slow, relaxed, deeper, following the breath. Through the nose. Like the Buddha who just observed. Allow yourself to gaze through the eyelashes a yogic technique. Just gazing towards the floor through the eyelashes now. The breath, slow, deep, jaw relaxed. You are aware through the eyelashes of a sense of sight and outer world. But you are mostly focused on your inner dimension. Slowing the breath, letting thoughts pass. Thoughts forever come and go. Hundreds, many you don't even perceive, because in the infinite potential, there are many potential thoughts you could be engaging in each moment, in each now. And the more you calm down, the more you will get a bubbling up of thoughts that may need to be healed and met as they might have been suppressed. But you will also raise your frequency bit by bit, going into self-love, self-connection, silence within the divine wisdom. And as your frequency elevates and you empty out suppressed thoughts, let them come, let them go. You are the observer. As you increase your frequency through the slow breath, the heart opens, intuition expands. The external world will mirror that, and different quality of thoughts will eventually come to you, to your awareness. Because in that state, you will vibrate with a different way of seeing and thinking about the world and your life. Send out love from your heart, which is calm, into the world. May humanity benefit from each of our meditations to connect to their inner observer, their deep heart wisdom, their intuitive self, and wake up fully in divine time to their true potential and true power and true wisdom, which is aligned with Mother Earth, which is aligned with wisdom, grace and flow, kindness, innovation, equality. And there is an ingeniousness within all of us. And when we tap into it, we will have the most ingenious answers to any challenges. And it is important that we breathe slowly and be the observer here and there. And then we go back into diving into the world. And then we can go and choose the observer, the silence. Instead of having a cup of tea or whatever we take for distraction or for a break, or when you do it, connect also to this experience of now. That everything is arising upon stillness. There's a rhythm, a frequency, just like there are seasons, just like there is music, forever moving and creating emotion. But the home base and a new consciousness arises in the now, in the silence, which is between the words, between the breath, in and out. It's between everything, beneath everything. above everything. It is a field all around you. Feel and create that space and spaciousness, like a bubble of softness, so that you can feel comfortable no matter what is going on around you. See it like a field of light, of love, helping you to keep nervous system balance, to keep your immune system strong, which is linked to your breath and your degree of emotion of love versus fear. And harness this through your internal power of focus, choosing it, realizing it, embodying it. This is the truth of who you are. And this is what we're all waking up to at last. Remembering the things we've forgotten at last. Finally. And the quicker we do this and embrace it, the more amazing the ride, the more wonderful the transformation. So enjoy this moment and tap into that silence and that observer. Notice that you can slow down and how delicious it is and how powerful in making great decisions and emanating this peace for all to see, emanating this peace for the world, your friends, your family, the future generations, anchoring this joy, anchoring this capacity to choose silence and observer. I'm sending so much light to you, to all, because this peace is infinite. And as I choose to send it, like love, there's always more. It's an endless field, an endless availability. I'm sending it out to the planet, to humans, to plants, to animals, whoever needs it. Plants really don't, but whatever needs it, I just send it out. I'm not assuming anything needs it, but if it does and it wants it, it's right there, letting us all feel it. This love, this light, this silence, this presence, this life force, this health, this remembering. The more you meditate on this, the more you are going to grow that attention within yourself and in the world. And this is what the planet, in my opinion, is going through, and in many people's opinion that are connected to the spiritual part of what's going on. And that is the play that's unfolding. Hold on to this joy, the space, and literally infinite potential everywhere. All in the mind, the intuitive, and our chakra centers vibrating with this. Again, this is a small introduction to what I teach, very, very easy. I teach about the chakra centers, breath, consciousness, how we can use that, going into trance, self-hypnosis to hypnotize yourself into what you actually want to believe rather than what you're led to believe, how to sleep well, how to create your life, how we achieve goals. They have to be in a meditative state. The conscious mind is going to be programmed and just running that. We need to tap into the unconscious and wire that up to our alignment. This is easily done, and I teach that. I do this with people one-on-one, online, and it's about remembering who we are. We all have this within us, and it's very easy. It just requires sitting there and being open to it and receiving it, making it a priority amongst all the other priorities. To me, this is the highest priority, because when you vibrate high and you're connected to who you are, it's like you are your own treasure chest of life. You can give, you can be, You're not part of the destruction. You're part of the evolution. You're part of more joy, life. You're going to help children. You're going to help animals. You're going to help the planet and yourself. To me, what is more important than that? And that's why I'm here doing this for free and from all my heart and soul. I hope you can connect. I hope you feel this love and light. Keep anchoring it, expanding it in your inner eye, breathing it in and out. And share this video if it helped you. Share it, like it, connect, so that we can touch as many people as possible. This is where the internet is helping these days. This is where the internet creates oneness, where we can really share and connect in the most powerful way. As much as the internet carries with it negative things and addiction and underground dark net stuff, it also, as everything like money, has its polarity to create the heaven on earth as well, to create the teachings for free, to help us to really not feel lost, but to anchor into a source of education and support that helps us to be our highest good. That is the gift, in my opinion. So be well, and thank you for being here. See you next time.